Have you ever felt a quiet ache after a family gathering, or perhaps felt a bit overlooked in a world that moves so fast? It is common in these reflective years to feel our sense of control slipping away. Today, we are pressured to react to everything instantly, which often leaves us feeling weary. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius once wrote a vital truth for himself. He said, "It is in your power to withdraw into yourself whenever you desire." As en illustration, imagine receiving a cold remark from a friend. Instead of hurting back, you take a slow breath. In that small pause, you protect your dignity. This video will show you a simple principle and a practical method to help you find that inner silence every day. I invite you to stay with us as we learn to stay steady together. It is a journey worth taking. To begin, please type these words in the comments. I choose my response. Again, I choose my response. The first principle we must explore together is the power of your own judgment. The ancient Stoics used a specific word for this. They called it prohairesis. In simple terms, this is your faculty of choice. It is the ability to look at a situation and decide what it means to you. The Stoics taught that nothing in the world is born with a label of good or bad. A rainy day is just water falling from the sky. It only becomes a bad day if we decide that the rain is an enemy to our plans. This principle tells us that while we cannot control what happens to us, we have total authority over how we define those events. We are the editors of our own life story. Applying this today feels incredibly difficult. We live in an era of instant everything. Our phones vibrate with news and messages that demand an immediate emotional response. There is no longer a natural buffer between a problem and our reaction. If someone says something unkind online or in a text, the culture expects us to feel offended and strike back right away. This constant pressure to react leaves our minds feeling like a house with the doors and windows left wide open in a storm. We feel exhausted because we have forgotten how to close the door and decide which guests are allowed inside our minds. Let us look at a common situation to illustrate this. This is a fictional example, but it may feel very familiar to many of you. Imagine a woman named Sarah. Sarah has spent her life caring for her family. One afternoon, she sends a long, thoughtful message to her grown son. Asking how his week is going, she waits for hours. Finally, her phone pings. The reply is only one word. It says, "Bosu." Sarah feels a sharp sting in her chest. She begins to think, I am not a priority to him. After all I have done, he cannot even give me 5 minutes. This thought leads to a heavy feeling of neglect and sadness. In this moment, Sarah is not being hurt by her son. She is being hurt by her judgment of the world. Bosu, to her. That word means rejection, but in reality, the word is just 4 letters on a screen. The Stoics would analyze Sarah's situation by separating the fact from the opinion. The fact is that a message was received. The opinion is that the message means her son does not care. By recognizing this gap, Sarah can reclaim her peace. She can choose to believe that her son is simply focused on his work, or perhaps he is having a stressful day himself. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius practiced this every single day while leading an empire through wars and plagues. He reminded himself of the natural order of things. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything that happens in the world is right. If you examine this carefully, you will find it to be true." He did not mean that every event is pleasant. He meant that every event is a natural part of life. When we accept that people will sometimes be short with us, or that technology will fail, or that plans will change, we stop fighting against reality. We begin to see that these things are not attacks. They are simply things that happen. This is especially helpful to apply when you face a misunderstanding in your marriage or a disagreement with a longtime friend. Often, we are not arguing about the facts. We are arguing about the labels we have put on those facts. If someone forgets your birthday, the fact is that a date has passed without a phone call. The suffering comes from the label, "I am not loved." Stoicism asks you to look at the facts and leave the label behind. To bring this wisdom into your daily life, I want to give you a specific exercise. It is called the 3-gate filter. You can do this in your mind or write it down in a small notebook. The next time you feel a surge of hurt or anger from a conversation or a piece of news, I want you to stop. Do not speak. Do not type. Wait for exactly 20 minutes. During those 20 minutes, put your reaction through these 3 gates. Step number 1. Ask yourself, is my judgment of this situation 100% true? Do I have all the facts? Or am I filling in the blanks with my own fears? Step number 2. Ask yourself, is it helpful for me to feel this way? Does this anger or sadness help me solve the problem or care for my health? Step number 3. Ask yourself, does my reaction protect my dignity? Am I acting like the wise, steady person I want to be? If your reaction cannot pass through all 3 gates, let it go. You will find that after 20 minutes of quiet reflection, the sting of the event has started to fade. You are no longer a victim of the situation. You are the master of it. This practice takes less than 5 minutes of active thinking, but it can save you from hours of unnecessary heartache. It is important to remember that you are not being cold or uncaring when you do this. You are being responsible. You are choosing to use the mind that was given to you to find clarity instead of chaos. Whether you find strength in your personal faith or in these ancient observations, the result is the same. You become a pillar of strength for yourself and for those around you. You realize that your peace of mind is not a gift that others can take away. It is a sanctuary that you build for yourself, one judgment at a time. As we conclude this first lesson, I invite you to take a slow breath. If you are ready to take back control of your inner world, please share your commitment with our community. In the comment section below, please type the words, "I am the master of my thoughts." I will say it once more so it stays with you. I am the master of my thoughts. Whenever you feel overwhelmed today, repeat that sentence to yourself. It is a reminder that the door to your mind has a lock, and you are the one who holds the key. Stay with us as we move to the next principle of finding peace. The second principle we must discuss is the concept of the inner citadel. This is a mental fortress that resides deep within your own consciousness. The ancient Stoics believed that your soul is like a castle. While the world outside may be filled with storms, battles, and chaos, the center of that castle can remain perfectly still and safe. This sanctuary is the only place in the universe where you have absolute authority. Nothing and no one can enter this space unless you decide to open the gate. This principle teaches us that our inner peace does not depend on the world being quiet. It depends on our ability to retreat into our own fortress when the world becomes too loud. In our modern lives, building this citadel is more challenging than ever. This is especially true for those of us in the more reflective years of our lives. We often find ourselves in the role of caregivers or emotional anchors for our families. We care deeply for our spouses, our aging parents, and our growing grandchildren. When they are in pain, we feel it. When they are angry, we feel the weight of their anger. Many of us were raised with the beautiful idea that to love someone is to share their suffering. However, the modern world often confuses love with emotional exhaustion. We feel that if we are not stressed, we are not caring. This leads to a state where our inner doors are always open, letting every emotional wind from our loved ones blow through our own hearts. We become tired, not because of what we are doing, but because we have no place to rest inside our own minds. Let us look at a situation that many of you may recognize. Consider a man named Arthur. Arthur has been married for over 40 years. His wife is now struggling with a chronic illness that causes her constant physical pain. Because of this pain, she is often irritable and says harsh things to Arthur. She complains about the food, the house, and even Arthur's efforts to help her. Arthur loves his wife dearly, but every time she lashes out, he feels a deep sense of failure and sadness. He spends his nights overthinking her words, wondering what he did wrong. He feels unappreciated and emotionally crushed. Arthur's problem is not that he cares too much. His problem is that he has no inner citadel. He has allowed his wife's physical pain to become his mental suffering. He is standing in the rain with her, but he has forgotten that he can be her shelter without getting soaked to the bone himself. The Stoic philosophers, especially those like Epictetus, who lived through great physical hardship, addressed this directly. They taught that we must be compassionate companions to those who suffer, but we must never let their darkness extinguish our own light. Epictetus was a man who understood that wanting the world to be perfect is a recipe for misery. He taught that we must distinguish between what we can give to others and what we must keep for ourselves. Epictetus taught, if you wish your children, your wife, and your friends to live forever, you are foolish. But if you wish not to be disappointed in your desires, that is in your own power. This may sound cold at first, but it is actually the ultimate form of kindness. By protecting his own peace, Arthur would be better equipped to care for his wife. If he stays calm and steady in his fortress, he can be the rock she leans on. If he falls into despair with her, then they are both lost in the storm. This principle is vital to apply when you are dealing with a betrayal from a friend, or when you find yourself overthinking a conflict within your church or social group. You must realize that their behavior is their weather, but your soul is your climate. To build your own citadel, I want you to practice a specific method called the Quiet Room Morning Pre-Settlement. This is a very simple exercise that takes only 5 minutes, but it changes how you see your entire day. Step number 1. Every morning at 7:00 a.m., or as soon as you sit down with your first cup of coffee, close your eyes. Imagine that your mind is a beautiful stone sanctuary. It is warm, sealed, and filled with light. This is your quiet room. Step number 2. Visualize a small foyer or an entrance hall outside that room. This foyer is where the world lives. Imagine your responsibilities, the people you care for, and the news of the day sitting in that entrance hall. Step number 3. Tell yourself clearly, today, people may be difficult. My loved ones may be in pain. They may say unkind things. I will go out into the foyer to help them. I will give them my hands and my time, but I will keep them out of my sanctuary. My inner peace is not for sale. I will return to my quiet room whenever I need to breathe. By doing this, you are setting a boundary before the day even begins. You are deciding that you can be a loving spouse, a helpful friend, and a steady parent without sacrificing your own dignity. You are learning to care with your hands, but watch with your soul. This practice creates a healthy distance that actually allows you to love people more deeply because you are no longer afraid of how their moods will hurt you. You are safe inside your fortress. If you find yourself in a situation where you feel unappreciated or exhausted by the needs of others, remember that the most important thing you can offer the world is your own stability. A candle cannot light the way for others if it is constantly being blown out by the wind. You must be the glass lantern that protects the flame. Whether you find this strength through your prayer and faith or through these ancient Stoic reflections, the goal is the same. It is to find that place within you that is unshakable. It is important to know that even when the house is loud, the soul can be quiet. I want to repeat this for you so that you can remember it during the difficult hours of the afternoon. Your peace is not a gift that others give to you. It is a sanctuary that you build for yourself. Every time you choose not to let someone else's anger become your own, you are adding another stone to your fortress. You are reclaiming your life. As we finish this reflection on the inner citadel, I encourage you to take this feeling of stillness with you. If you are ready to protect your own sanctuary and stay steady for those you love, please share that intention with us in the comments section below. Please type the words, "My peace is my own." Let us say it together once more. My peace is my own. When the world tries to pull you into the storm today, remember your fortress. Remember your quiet room. You are the only one who holds the key. Stay steady, and let us move forward to our next practice of peace. In this special section, we will apply the ancient wisdom of the Stoics to two specific situations that many of us face as we move through the later chapters of our lives. These are the feelings of loneliness and the heavy weight of regret. First, let us speak about loneliness and the feeling of being excluded. The Stoic principle for this situation is the transformation of loneliness into solitude. For the Stoic philosophers, there is a profound difference between being alone and being lonely. Loneliness is a feeling of lack, as if something is missing from your life. But solitude is a choice. It is the decision to be in your own good company. The Stoics believed that the human soul is self-sufficient. They taught that we are never truly alone because we are always with our own character, our thoughts, and the shared reason of the universe. This is very difficult to practice in our modern world. Today, we are constantly shown images of people in large, happy groups. Social media makes us feel that if we are not constantly surrounded by family or friends, we are somehow failing. For those in their 60s and 70s, this can be particularly painful. Our social circles naturally shrink. Children move away. Friends may pass on. We may find ourselves sitting in a quiet house, wondering why the phone is not ringing as often as it once did. The world tells us that this silence is a sign of being forgotten. Consider a woman named Martha to illustrate this. Martha is 72 years old. Her grandchildren are now in college and rarely call. Her friends have mostly moved to different states. On a Tuesday afternoon, Martha finds herself sitting by the window. feeling a deep sense of being excluded from the world. She feels as though she is just waiting for someone else to give her a reason to feel happy. She feels like an uninvited guest in her own life. The Stoics would analyze Martha's situation by reminding her that her worth does not come from a ringing phone. They would suggest that the silence in her house is not a void, but a workspace for her soul. Marcus Aurelius practiced this himself when the burdens of leadership made him feel isolated. He reminded himself that he did not need to travel to the countryside or the seashore to find peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." He believed that we must learn to be our own best friend first. If Martha can admire her own resilience, her kindness, and her history, she will realize she is in the company of a very distinguished person herself. To practice this today, I invite you to try the character admiration exercise. Set aside 10 minutes this evening. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 things you genuinely admire about your own character. Perhaps it is your patience during difficult years. Perhaps it is your honesty, or the way you have always been a person of your word. Whenever you feel the sting of loneliness, read this list. Remind yourself that you are in the company of a person of virtue. You are never alone when you respect the person you are with. If you are ready to embrace your own inner strength, please type this in the comments. I am in good company with myself. Once more, I am in good company with myself. Now, let us speak about the second situation, the burden of regret and overthinking. The Stoic principle here is the recognition that the past is indifferent. In Stoic philosophy, the word indifferent does not mean we do not care. It means that the event is now outside of our control. The Stoics taught that time is a river. Once the water has passed you, you can no longer touch it. Therefore, the past belongs to a category of things that are not up to us. To spend your present moment worrying about a past mistake is like trying to sail a ship using yesterday's wind. It is simply not possible in our modern lives, especially as we have more time to reflect in retirement. Overthinking past mistakes becomes a heavy burden. We look back at a career move we did or did not make. We think about a failed relationship or a word we spoke in anger 20 years ago. We tell ourselves, if only I had done things differently, I would be happier now. This overthinking acts like a thief. It steals the peace of your current afternoon to pay for a debt in the past that can never be settled. To illustrate this, imagine a man named Robert. Robert is 65. He often lies awake at night thinking about a business decision he made 30 years ago that did not work out. He blames himself for not being able to provide a larger inheritance for his children. He plays the scenario over and over in his mind, imagining different outcomes. Robert is living in a ghost world. He is so focused on the life he could have had that he is missing the life he actually has right now. The Stoic philosophers were very firm about this kind of thinking. Seneca, who wrote extensively about the use of time, taught that we must protect our present moment with great care. He observed that many people spend their lives either dreading the future or mourning the past, leaving no time to actually live. Seneca wrote, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." The Stoics believed that the only moment where you have any power is right now. Whatever Robert did 30 years ago is now a fact of nature, as unchangeable as the mountains. By accepting it, he frees his energy to be a loving father and a wise man today. To practice letting go of these thoughts, I want you to use the verbal boundary exercise. The next time a regretful thought or a moment of overthinking enters your mind, do not let it circle silently. Stop what you are doing and say these words out loud. That was then. This is now. I focus on what is in my hands today. By speaking these words, you are creating a physical boundary in your mind. You are signaling to your brain that the past is a closed book. Practice this every single time a regret arises. No matter how small it is. Do it for 1 week. You will find that the past begins to lose its grip on your heart. You will start to realize that while you cannot change what happened, you can absolutely change how much power it has over your current peace. Whether you are facing the silence of a quiet house or the noise of a regretful mind, remember that Stoicism is about reclaiming your dignity. You are not a victim of your history or your social circle. You are a person of reason, living in the present. You have the right to be at peace today. Regardless of what happened yesterday or who called you this morning, your character is your home, and it is a beautiful place to be. As we finish this special section on applying Stoic wisdom to our personal lives, let us commit to staying in the present. If you are ready to let go of the past and focus on the good you can do today, please share that with us. In the comments section, type the words, I focus on what is in my hands today. Let us say it one more time. I focus on what is in my hands today. Keep these words close to your heart as you move through your afternoon. You are exactly where you need to be. Stay steady, and we will continue our journey together. The principle we are now moving into is the concept of Stoic training, or what the Greeks called ascesis. Many people believe that philosophy is something you only do with your head, by reading books or thinking deep thoughts. However, the Stoics believed that philosophy is more like a craft, such as carpentry or gardening. It is something you must practice every single day to become skilled at it. They taught that the mind is like a muscle. If you do not exercise it during the quiet times of your life, it will be too weak to support you when a real crisis arrives. This principle tells us that peace is not something we find, it is something we build through small, consistent action. It is the steady training of our will so that we remain the same person whether the sun is shining or a storm is raging. Applying this today is difficult because our modern culture is designed for comfort and immediate relief. We are taught that if something is uncomfortable, we should fix it or avoid it right away. If the room is too hot, we turn on the air conditioning. If we are bored, we pick up our phones. This constant search for comfort makes our minds soft. We become like a person who has never walked on rough ground. When life finally gives us a real challenge, such as a health scare or a conflict with a loved one, we feel completely overwhelmed. We have not trained ourselves to handle even small discomforts, so the big ones feel impossible. For those of us who have lived many decades, it can also be easy to fall into a set routine where we no longer challenge our own character. We may feel that we are too old to change our habits, but the Stoics remind us that as long as we are breathing, we are in training. Let us look at an illustration to see how this training works in a normal life. This is a fictional situation, but it is one that happens every day. Imagine a man named Henry. Henry is 68 years old and enjoys his quiet mornings. One day, he goes to the local pharmacy to pick up a prescription, but the line is very long, and the person behind the counter is moving slowly. Henry feels his blood pressure start to rise. He wants to huff and puff, Look at his watch and show everyone how frustrated he is. If Henry has not been practicing his Stoic training, he will let his anger take over. He will ruin his own morning and perhaps be unkind to the cashier. But if Henry has been training, he sees this long line as a practice session. He tells himself, "This is my chance to practice patience." He uses the time to observe his surroundings and stay calm. By the time he gets to the front of the line, he is still at peace. He has used a small inconvenience to make his mind stronger. The Stoic philosophers often spoke about the importance of practicing for hardship before it actually happens. Seneca, a wise advisor and writer, was very clear about this. He believed that we should not wait for a disaster to test our strength. Seneca wrote, "It is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself for difficult times. While fortune is kind, let it provide against her unkindness." This means that when your life is going well, that is exactly when you should be training your mind. You are like a soldier practicing in a time of peace, so that you are ready when the battle begins. To help you build this strength, I have developed a 7-day plan that I call the Dignity and Peace Plan. This is a sequence of small actions you can take this week to reclaim your inner power. I encourage you to write these down or save this part of the video to listen to each morning. Step number 1. On the first day, your goal is to practice the 3-second pause. Before you speak to anyone, whether it is your spouse, a neighbor, or someone on the phone, wait for 3 seconds. Use that time to make sure your words come from a place of kindness and reason rather than habit. Step number 2. On the second day, identify one external stressor that usually bothers you. It could be the morning news, a specific political topic, or a neighbor who is always loud. Decide that for this one day, that thing has no power over you. When you see it or hear it, simply say to yourself, "This is outside of my control and does not affect my character." Step number 3. On the third day, perform one act of kindness without telling anyone about it. Do not mention it to your family or post about it online. The goal is to do good simply because it is the right thing to do, not for praise. This strengthens your own sense of integrity. Step number 4. On the fourth day, eat one meal in total silence. Do not watch television or look at your phone. Focus entirely on the nourishment and the sensation of being present. This helps you realize that you do not always need external distraction to be content. Step number 5. On the fifth day, practice the graceful response. If someone criticizes you or disagrees with you, do not defend yourself. Simply say, "Thank you for your perspective," and move on. Notice how much energy you save when you do not try to control what others think of you. Step number 6. On the sixth day, spend 10 minutes walking outside. As you walk, look at the trees, the sky, or the birds. Observe how nature does not worry about human problems. Remind yourself that you are a small but important part of a very large and orderly universe. Step number 7. On the final day, take time to review your week. Sit quietly for 15 minutes with a cup of tea. Think about the moments when you stayed calm and the moments when you lost your peace. Do not judge yourself. Simply observe and decide how you will be even steadier in the week to come. This 7-day plan is not about being perfect. It is about moving in the right direction. When you follow these steps, you are telling yourself that your peace is a priority. You are no longer waiting for the world to be kind to you. You are learning to be kind and steady toward yourself. This is especially helpful to apply when you are facing a difficult family situation or perhaps feeling the physical limitations of aging. Instead of seeing these things as tragedies, you can see them as your personal training ground. You can say, "This is the moment I have been preparing for." I want you to remember that every small victory counts. If you can stay calm in a long line at the grocery store, you are building the strength you will need for much larger challenges later on. You are reclaiming your dignity, one small choice at a time. Whether you find comfort in your daily prayers or in these ancient Stoic lessons, the result is a life that is grounded and beautiful. As we finish our look at this 7-day plan, I invite you to make a promise to yourself. If you are ready to start your training and build a mind that is steady and strong, please share that commitment with us. In the comment section below, please type the words, "I am training for peace." I will say it again so you can remember it throughout your week. I am training for peace. Carry this thought with you as you go about your day. Remember that every moment is an opportunity to practice. Stay steady. And we will move to our final routine for a quiet soul. The final principle we will discuss today is the concept of the Stoic bookends. This is the practice of beginning and ending your day with a clear, intentional focus. The ancient Stoics believed that a well-lived life does not happen by accident. It is the result of a daily rhythm. They compared the mind to a house that must be swept every morning and inspected every evening. The morning is for preparation, where you put on your mental armor before facing the world. The evening is for reflection, where you review your actions without judgment to see where you can grow. This principle teaches us that our day is a small version of our entire life. If we can master the morning and the evening, we can master our peace of mind. Applying this today is very difficult because of the way modern technology has entered our bedrooms. Most people now wake up and immediately reach for their phones. Within 30 seconds of opening our eyes, we are looking at the news, checking emails, or seeing what other people are doing on social media. This means we are inviting the entire world, with all its noise, anger, and demands into our bed before we have even taken a deep breath. We start our day in a state of reaction rather than intention. Similarly, at night, many people fall asleep while watching television or scrolling through their phones. This leaves our minds cluttered with external images and worries right when we should be finding stillness. For those in their reflective years, this digital noise can feel even more draining. It replaces the natural quiet that we need to maintain our dignity and perspective. To see the value of these bookends, let us look at an illustration. Consider a woman named Margaret. Margaret is 68 years old. Every morning, she wakes up and immediately turns on the news while she makes her coffee. By 8 o'clock, she is already worried about the economy, upset by a local crime story, and feeling anxious about the state of the world. Her day begins with a feeling of helplessness. Compare her to a man named James, who is 65. When James wakes up, he keeps his phone in the other room. He sits by the window for 10 minutes and thinks about the person he wants to be that day. He tells himself that he will be patient with his family and steady in his health habits. James starts his day with a feeling of agency. Margaret is reacting to the world, while James is preparing for it. The difference in their levels of peace by noon is immense. The Stoic philosophers were very disciplined about these daily rituals. Seneca, a man who held great responsibility in Rome, wrote about his own nightly practice in his letters. He believed that the mind should be called to account every day. Seneca taught that we should review our actions as if we were a kind but firm judge of ourselves. He wrote, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I have done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." The Stoics believed that this evening review was not about feeling guilty, it was about learning. By looking at where they lost their temper or where they were brave, they could make a better plan for the next morning. This created a beautiful cycle of continuous improvement. This practice is especially helpful to apply when you are dealing with ongoing challenges, such as chronic pain or a complicated relationship with a child or sibling. Instead of let these problems weigh on you all day and night, you give them a specific time, you prepare for them in the morning, and you release them in the evening. This prevents your worries from becoming a 24-hour burden. It gives your soul a chance to rest and recover, to build your own Stoic bookends. I want to give you a specific daily routine. This is a practice you can start tomorrow morning and finish tomorrow night. Step number 1. The morning preparation. This should take about 5 minutes. When you first wake up, do not touch your phone or turn on the television. Sit on the edge of your bed or in a comfortable chair. Take 3 slow breaths. Say these words to yourself. I am grateful for another day to practice virtue. I will be steady today. No matter what happens, spend 1 minute thinking about one challenge you might face today, perhaps a difficult phone call or a physical chore, and visualize yourself handling it with calmness and dignity. Step number 2. The daytime pivot. Whenever you feel your peace slipping away during the afternoon, return to your morning intention. Remind yourself that you have already decided how you will respond. Step number 3. The evening review. This should take about 10 minutes before you turn out the lights to sleep. Find a quiet place to sit. Ask yourself 3 simple questions. Question 1. What did I do well today? Think of a moment where you were patient or kind. Question 2. Where did I lose my peace? Identify a moment where you felt angry or anxious. Do not be hard on yourself. Simply notice it. Question 3. How can I be steadier tomorrow? What is one small thing you can do differently? Once you have answered these questions, tell yourself that the day is now finished. It belongs to the past, and you are letting it go. This routine is a way of honoring your own life. It shows that you value your time and your character enough to give them your full attention. Whether you find this strength in your morning prayers or in these evening reflections, the effect is the same. You are no longer drifting through your life. You are steering your own ship. You are creating a life of purpose and dignity, one day at a time. This practice is particularly powerful for those who may feel a loss of status or role in retirement. It reminds you that your most important job, the cultivation of your own character, is a task that is never finished and always valuable. By practicing these bookends, you will find that you sleep more soundly and wake up with more energy. You are clearing the mental clutter every night and putting on your armor every morning. You are becoming a person who is steady, clear-headed, and deeply at peace. Remember, the goal is not to be a perfect person who never makes mistakes. The goal is to be a person who is aware of their actions and always striving to do a little better. You have everything you need within you to live this way. As we conclude this final lesson on our daily routine, let us set our intention for tomorrow. If you are ready to reclaim your mornings and your evenings for the sake of your peace, please share that with our community. in the comments section below. Please type the words, "My peace is my power." I will say it one more time, so it stays with you as you prepare for rest. My peace is my power. Keep these words in your heart tonight. Know that you are not alone on this journey. We are all training together, one day at a time. Sleep well, and wake up ready to be the steady person you were meant to be. Stay steady, and we will walk this path together. The final principle we will conclude with today is the principle of the complete day. The ancient Stoics believed that we should live each day as if it were a complete life in itself. They did not mean this in a dark or frightening way. Instead, they meant that we should not leave our peace or our kindness for a future that is not guaranteed. They taught that when the sun goes down, we should be able to say that we have lived fully and virtuously. This principle is about the dignity of the present moment. It tells us that our legacy is not something that happens after we are gone. Our legacy is how we choose to handle the challenges of this very afternoon. It is about the quality of our character right now. In our modern world, this principle is very hard to maintain because we are constantly being pushed into the future. We are told to worry about what might happen next month or next year. We are bombarded with news that makes us feel like the world is ending tomorrow. For those of us who are in our 60s or 70s, the modern culture often tries to make us feel that our most important days are behind us. It encourages us to live in a state of constant anxiety about our health or our finances. This makes it difficult to sit quietly and feel that today was a success simply because we remained kind and steady. We feel that we must always be doing more, worrying more, or planning more, which prevents us from ever truly being at peace. To understand how to overcome this, let us look at one final illustration. Imagine a man named David. David is 70 years old. He spends his evenings sitting on his porch, watching the sky change colors. In the past, David would have spent this time worrying about a disagreement he had with his brother, or thinking about the medical appointment he has next week. His mind would be 1,000 miles away from the porch. He would be physically present, but his soul would be exhausted by things that do not exist in this moment. But today, David chooses the Stoic path. He recognizes that his brother's opinion is outside of his control. He knows that next week's appointment will happen whether he worries about it now or not. He decides that this evening is a complete unit of time. He focuses on the feeling of the air, the sound of the birds, and the quiet strength in his own heart. He realizes that by staying calm, he is fulfilling his duty as a man of reason. He is not just waiting for the end of the day. He is mastering it. David feels a deep sense of dignity because he knows he has not allowed the world's noise to steal his final hours of light. The Stoic philosophers often reflected on this sense of completion at the end of the day. Seneca, who spent much of his life in the service of others, wrote about the importance of finishing the day with a sense of satisfaction. Seneca wrote, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." He believed that if you can find peace within a single day, you have found the secret to a peaceful life. The Stoics taught that we should not be like children who are afraid of the dark, but like wise travelers who are glad for the rest. They believed that when we lay our heads down, we should be able to say to ourselves that we have run the race well. This perspective is especially helpful to apply when you are facing long-term hardships, such as caring for a sick relative or dealing with your own physical limitations. It is easy to feel that your life is on hold until the hardship is over. But Stoicism says that the hardship is your life right now. By handling it with patience and a quiet spirit today, you are succeeding. You are not waiting for peace. You are creating it. This is also vital for those times when you feel overthinking or regret starting to pull you back into the past. Remind yourself that the person who made those mistakes is gone. The person who is here today is the one who chooses dignity. To bring our journey to a close, I want to give you a final practice called the 3-minute release. This is a very simple way to end your day and protect your soul before you sleep. Step number 1. As you prepare for bed, sit for 1 minute in total silence. Do not have the television or any music playing. Just listen to the silence of the room. Step number 2. Take 3 very slow, deep breaths. With each breath, imagine that you are letting go of one external worry from the day. Perhaps it is a bill, a news story, or a family disagreement. Imagine these things staying outside your door. Step number 3. Say these words quietly to yourself. I have done what I could today with the strength I was given. The rest I leave to the world. I am at peace with my efforts. This practice allows you to close the book on the day. It prevents the stress of today from leaking into tomorrow. It honors the work you have done and gives you permission to rest. Whether you find your strength in your daily prayers, your personal faith, or in these ancient observations, this act of release is a gift to your health and your mind. It is a way of declaring that you are the one in charge of your spirit. We have traveled a long way together in this video. We have explored the quiet room, where we filter the world's noise. We have learned the power of the 3-second pause and the dignity of controlling our judgments. We have discussed how to build an inner citadel that no one can enter without your permission. We have seen how to turn loneliness into solitude and how to let go of the past. Finally, we have established a routine to bookend our days with intention. I want to remind you that you have the power to remain calm. You are not a victim of the world or your age or your circumstances. You are a person of reason and character. The peace you are looking for is not somewhere else. It is right here, in the gap between what happens to you and how you choose to respond. You do not need to be a philosopher to live this way. You only need to be a person who values their own dignity. Tonight, as you lay your head down, I want you to ask yourself one question. Did I let the world decide my mood today? Or did I decide it for myself? If you choose to decide for yourself, then you have won the most important battle there is. Thank you for your presence and for being part of this community of steady souls. We are all learning together, and your journey is a source of strength for others. If you are ready to walk this path of dignity and peace, please share that with us one last time. In the comments section, please type the words, "My peace is my power," once more, with conviction. My peace is my power. May you walk with dignity throughout your day, and may you sleep with a quiet heart tonight. I look forward to our next journey together. Stay steady. The perspectives shared in this video are for educational and philosophical reflection. They are intended to provide comfort and a sense of agency, but do not replace professional, psychological, or medical advice. We respect all religious and personal beliefs. These teachings are offered as a supplement to a life of wisdom. Please consult a professional for mental health concerns. As we bring our time together to a close, let us return to the moment we spoke about at the very beginning. Think again about that stinging remark from a loved one, or that sudden feeling of being overlooked by a world that seems to move too fast. In the past, those moments might have ruined your afternoon or kept you awake at night. But now, you have a different perspective. You have seen that between the world's noise and your own heart, there is a space. You have the quiet room. You have the power of the 3-second pause. Like Sarah, who realized that a short text message was just pixels and not a measure of her worth. Or Arthur, who found that he could be a loving shelter for his wife without losing his own peace. You are learning to be the master of your own internal weather. The core lesson we must take away today is simple, yet it holds a lifetime of hope. It is this: you are never a victim of your circumstances as long as you are the master of your response. Whether you are facing the challenges of aging, the complexities of family life, or the quiet of a house that feels too empty, your dignity remains entirely in your own hands. You do not need the world to change for you to be at peace. You only need to change how you define the world. This is not about being cold or distant. It is about being steady. It is about being the rock that the waves break against, rather than the leaf that is carried away by the current. To make this wisdom a part of your life, I encourage you to use the 7-day plan we have established. Do not feel that you must be perfect from the first day. Simply try. On day 1, practice that small pause before you speak. On day 2, decide that one external stressor has no power over you. By the time you reach the 7th day and review your week, you will find that you have built a new kind of strength. You will see that your mornings are more intentional and your evenings are more restful. You are building a legacy of character, one quiet choice at a time. This is the most valuable thing you can offer to your children, your grandchildren, and yourself. It is a life of quiet power and unshakable grace. Before you move back into the activities of your day, I invite you to take one small, honest step. I would like you to make a commitment to yourself and to this community of steady souls. In the comments section, please share one small thing you will do today to protect your inner peace. It does not have to be a grand gesture. Perhaps you will decide to eat one meal in silence, or you will choose to wait 5 minutes before checking the news. By writing it down, you are turning a thought into an action. You are signaling to yourself that your peace is a priority. If these reflections have brought you a sense of calm today, I invite you to join our community. Please hit the subscribe button and share this video with someone in your life who may be feeling overwhelmed or weary. Your support helps us continue to provide a space for wisdom and dignity in a noisy world. We are truly honored to have you with us on this journey. We are all training together, and your presence makes this community stronger. Let us carry one final affirmation with us as we part ways. It is a reminder of the authority you hold over your own soul. In the comments below, please type these words: I control my response. I will say it one more time so it stays with you throughout your evening. I control my response. Repeat that sentence whenever you feel the world trying to pull you into a storm. Remember that the door to your sanctuary is always there, and you are the only one who holds the key. Before we finish, please listen to this important reminder. The ideas we have shared today are for reflection and personal growth. They are meant to provide comfort and a sense of agency, but they are not a substitute for professional mental health support. If you are going through a heavy season of life or struggling with your well-being, please reach out to a trusted friend, a family member, or a qualified professional. We respect all religious and personal beliefs, and these teachings are offered as a supplement to a life of wisdom and faith. We believe that everyone deserves a life of peace and support. Thank you for your time, your focus, and your heart. May you walk with dignity. May you act with kindness. And may you sleep tonight with a quiet and grateful soul. Stay steady, and we will walk this path together again very soon.